is constant, unlike these human beings,
who lie
about
about
what it seems to be.
You think the earth is where
You
you
stand
You're in the
upon someone's hand,
And that's why I love the moon, 'cause it's always there for me. Every night
right
upon
above
my
my
window.
window.
And that's why I love the moon, 'cause it's always there for me. Every single night I look outside, it's right there for me in my mind. And that's why I love the moon, yeah. Because people can consume my love in the wrong way, so I send it up. And night, and night, and night. Real love so hard to find. Just when you think you found it, the illusions in your eyes it blinds. So be careful where you look for love. Just be careful where you look for love. Real love so hard to find. Just when you think you found it, the illusions in your eyes it blinds us all. So be careful where you look for love. Just be careful where you look for love.
Yo, that's why I let the moon shine. 'Cause through the time I've been confused on how to move. Stuck in between what wasn't and what could be the truth. High, still up trying to escape the demons in my room. You see, it's no chains dropping, we learn to maintain. Yo, and how could anybody else prepare when they brainwash us and watch us every time we make exchanges with slaves? Locked in a box and use our minds just to escape all the same shit. I'm tired of the pain, love is blind to the flame. That's why I look up, never hide behind the skies in the rain. Promises cooked up, exercising through denying the pain. That's why I look for ways to find whatever lies in the rain. Cause shit changed. I don't blame my father for lamping, I believe that helped. With me trying to grow as just still trying to grow as myself. So understand it when I'm stranded, taking chances, know I need that. Full fell on my back, you just relax and keep your seat back. Cause when you think, that's when you let time run and escape with your mind, loving, that's what you think. So what you think? If love was easy to find, we wouldn't need it to complete our lives. So
Peace to the moon, peace to stars, peace to Saturn, and peace to Mars.
three of the best coaches we've ever had.
It's Kelly Clarkson versus Adam Levine versus John Legend.
I'm the first coach ever to win the show.
I have won the most.
We're all gonna fight. It's the Battle of Champions for a reason.
All-star coaches, thrilling new twists.
The brand new Super Steel.
This is the most competitive season in Voice history.
You have one of the best voices I've ever heard on the show ever.
The Voice Battle of Champions premieres tonight on NBC.
Mingling with, feeling bad in my couch, with no pals around, and a stick in the mouth. I started to panic and made it to get better. If I don't need to blink, the future doesn't matter. Sad in my life, I'm riding a trap. I can't live with that, need to clean up the crap. Just sad in my pain, I spit rage in a letter. No matter what I mean, I'm feeling under the weather.
Boy, Lord, dance tonight, it's rhythm's right, real tight. Jump for joy and we'll dance all night. Rhythm's right, real tight. Boy, Lord, dance tonight, it's rhythm's right, real tight. Jump for joy and we'll dance all night. Rhythm's right, real tight.
Panic attack at 11 at night. Was banging around, need to turn on the light. My brain's in a bottle, my body shatters a rattle. The music and the beat are nothing but a devil. Bracing myself with the one on my side. I step in the club, I'm the freak in the crowd. I stumble and shout, what I want doesn't matter. I'm ready for the drill. Welcome to the jungle.
Boy, Lord, dance tonight, it's rhythm's right, real tight. Jump for joy and we'll dance all night. Rhythm's right, real tight. Boy, Lord, dance tonight, it's rhythm's right, real tight. Jump for joy and we'll dance all night. Rhythm's right, real tight. Boy, Lord, dance tonight, it's rhythm's right, real tight. Jump for joy and we'll dance all night. Rhythm's right, real tight. Boy, Lord, dance tonight, it's rhythm's right, real tight. Jump for joy and we'll dance all night. Rhythm's right, real tight.
Shame on you, you are the one of a face. You get you the way you want, such a disgrace. Shame on you, I say it right to your funny face. You get you the way you want, such a disgrace.
Listen, first the fat boys break up. Now every day I wake up, somebody got a problem with hope. What's up, y'all niggas all fed up cause I got a little cheddar and my record's moving out the store? Young fucks spitting at me, young rappers getting at me. My nigga Big predicted this shit exactly. More money, more problems, gotta move carefully. Cause faggots hate when you getting money like athletes. Youngins grubbing more. And I pack heat like I'm the oven door. Niggas pray and pray on my downfall. But every time I hit the ground, I bounce up like round ball. Now I don't wanna have to kill sound ball. Don't wanna have to cock back the 4-pound ball. Look, strap, I got nephews to look after. I'm not looking at you dudes, I'm looking past you. I thought I told you cactus, I'm not a rapper. Can I live? I told you 96 that I came to take this shit, and I did. Handle my biz, I scramble like Randall with his. Cut in hand, but the only thing running is numbers, fam. Jigga held you down 6 summers, damn, where's the love? Niggas, where's the love? Holla at me. Take 'em to church. My nigga, where's the love? Fuck, then Richard Pryor going burn up, and Ike and Tina Turner break up. Then I wake up to more bullshit. You knew me before records, you never disrespected me. Now that I'm successful, you pulling shit. Nigga, I step on your porch, step to your boss. Let's end the speculation, I'm talking to all of y'all. Male shouldn't be jealous, that's a female trait. What you mad cause you pushed down and he said wait? Y'all don't know my expenses, I gotta buy bigger plates and more baggies. Why you all aggy? Nigga, respect the game, that should be it. What you eat don't make me shit. Where's the love? Where's the love?
Today we will be reading on Today we'll be having a reading on the 87 intrinsic human emotions. Today will be the reading on flooding. This seems like the perfect place to talk about the concept of flooding. The body can become overwhelmed when it senses danger, and for a lot of us, a difficult conversation, hard feedback, or an argument is enough to send our body into overdrive. We could feel overwhelmed, attacked, and confused. According to the Gottman Institute, flooding is a sensation of feeling psychologically and physically overwhelmed during conflict, making it virtually impossible to have a productive, problem-solving discussion. In his book, Why Marriages Succeed or Fail and How You Can Make Yours Last, John Gottman explains, we each have a sort of built-in meter that measures how much negativity accumulates during such interactions, When the level gets too high for you, the needle starts going haywire and flooding begins. Just how readily people become flooded is individual. He also shares that flooding is affected by how much stress you have going on in your life. The more pressure we're under, the more likely we are to be easily flooded. One of the worst patterns that I brought to my marriage from my family was get back in here and fight with me. Growing up, we didn't take breaks during fights. No one ever said, this is no longer productive and we should take a timeout before someone gets their feelings hurt. Our strategy was to get louder and meaner until you win or someone else is crying. When I first married Steve, in the middle of a heated argument, he would say, let's stop and take a break. I was like, what are you talking about? At some point, I realized that stopping scared me. Fighting together seemed less painful than hurting alone. Looking back, I just didn't know how to do it. I had never been taught or seen it modeled. Gottman's work helped me understand the mechanics behind, okay, can we circle back in 20 minutes? Or, okay, how much time do you need? Knowing that we're coming back to finish the discussion and when reassures me in some way. This research also helped me realize that it wasn't just Steve who was getting overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed too. The difference is our strategies. He shuts down, I lash out. Disastrous. Now when I feel flooded, I'm as likely to say time out as he is. This is a good thing because according to Gottman, chronic flooding sets us up to dread communicating. Gottman discusses this effect in the context of marriages and partnerships, but I've seen the same thing in organizations. I've interviewed many research participants who experience chronic flooding with their bosses, so much so that every time they're called into the office, they're already on the path to overwhelm. There's only so much our body's nervous system can stand before they flip the survival switch and stop communicating and start protecting or attacking. Looking back, I've never once regretted calling a timeout at home or work. Not once. I've never experienced a little time and space being a bad thing, but I have plenty of regrets the other way around. Let's see if there's another one that we could read right now. This one would be good to read. Calm. I define calm as creating perspective and mindfulness while managing emotional reactivity. When I think about calm people, I think about people who can bring perspective to complicated situations and experience their feelings without reacting to heightened emotions. For the gifts of imperfection research, when people describe themselves as calm or talked about other people describing them as calm, I asked a lot of questions. Did they think their calmness was a trait or a practice or both? Did maintaining calm feel like work or like a default setting? Did they see calm modeled growing up? Did they remember learning it? For personal reasons, I've stayed curious about calm over the years, and the themes and patterns I found in the original research continue to emerge. First, whether calm is a practice or something more inherent, there are behaviors specific to cultivating and maintaining calm that include a lot of self-questioning. The process seems to be centered on breath, perspective taking, and curiosity. Calm is an intention. Do we want to infect people with more anxiety or heal ourselves and the people around us with calm? As the psychologist and writer Harriet Lerner says, anxiety is contagious. Intensity and reactivity only breed more of the same. Calm is also contagious. Nothing is more important than getting a grip on your own reactivity. Do we match the pace of anxiety, or do we slow things down with breath and tone? Do we have all the information we need to make a decision or form a response? What do we need to ask or learn? As someone who has to work on calm as a practice rather than a trait, I've shortened this to 2 quick questions I ask myself when I feel fear, panic, or anxiety rising. Do I have enough information to freak out? The answer is normally no. Will freaking out help? The answer is always no. $23 in queue, huh? MS Paint. That's crazy. Let's since we're waiting, let's just do some breathing exercises, I guess. Let's see if my sound is working. Okay, it is. Nice. In order to do this type of breath work, here, let me pull out MS Paint real quick. This is my own made up breath regimen that I have created. It centers around the focus of the thing called, I call it the recovery breath. Yep, I call it the recovery breath. The whole focus of this breathing technique focuses around the word recovery and whatever the heck you think recovery even means. So, not my problem to define it. That's yours. But basically, we're going to have a whole bunch of hard breaths. And they don't need to be too hard. They just got to be harder than your recovery. And then in between each of these hard breaths, you'll do a recovery. And then once you get to the end, you'll come all the way back over. I recommend doing as many recovery breaths as you want. So you could do as many as you want between these. You can change it up however you please in order to make it harder or easier. But there are 4 hard breaths we're going to be learning today. That's not 4 hard breaths. There we go. The first hard breath is the long in. The long in. Second hard breath, hold in. Third hard breath, the long out. Fourth hard breath, guess what it is? The hold out. But Nathan, what is a recovery breath? It's literally anything that makes you feel like you have recovered from these. If that's hyperventilating, hyperventilate. If it's breathe slowly, breathe slowly. I don't care. Not my job. Your job is to find out what makes you feel recovered from these hard scenarios. Recovery is important. You can use recovery against emotional stressors, health stressors, pain stressors, breathing stressors, workout stressors. Does not matter as long as you believe yourself to be recovering. So, let's learn it. Let's go through a cycle. I think that the more cycles you do, the better. If you feel like your mind just wanders from this and you're super, 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 super bored or whatever, you could do a whole bunch of fun mind games. Like during the long in and the long out, I feel like I find new cells in my body that I once before didn't know of. During the holds as well, it's like, whoa, new sensations. Um, if you have the capacity to do this for 25 minutes at the start or end of your day, I promise you that your whole life will improve exponentially. And that's a promise. That's not like, oh man, meditate and you won't even feel it. I mean, this is an immediate gratification kind of scenario, which is nice, you know? It's nice to have some things that are immediately gratifying and feel kind of gamified. Uh, like with the long in and the hold out, hold in and the long out, all of them, they're kind of gamification. It is something that is semi difficult. We're not pushing ourselves to deathly exhaustion because then our recovery breath, we have to take a lot more. But I mean, if you want to push yourself really hard, then you just understand that you get to take more recovery breaths, and it's like, oh, cool. Whatever. It's not my job to really tell you how to do this. I like to indicate if I'm in a group setting how it's going for me with my hands, which is really excellent because when I indicate with my hands, I can, in the long ins, I can really stretch myself upwards and grow like a tree. I have yet to actually do this standing. I could do that right now for my first example. Sure. Why not? Change it up a little bit. We're gonna go with a widened stance, and hopefully, yeah, I'm gonna put my feet together. By the heels, I'll open up my feet. Then by the toes, I'll open them up to straight. Then I'll go past straight, straight again with my toes, and that's my open stance. From there, loosen it up a little bit. Tilt my pelvic floor a little bit forward and begin. I'm just going to start with some recovery breaths. And then once I reach an area where I feel calm, which is like visually for me, that's like when I feel like a single drop just hit the ocean or hit the calm lake and I can feel its ripples. That feels relatively calm. So we're going to start with the long in. And then recover. I like to just check my body, wherever feels the least recovered. Somewhere in here, usually. And as soon as it feels calm enough, whatever that means for me, I'll move to the second breath. Okay? My recoveries sound like sighs. My nasal breathing inward reaches pretty deep, like a ocean wave. But that's me. Whatever makes you feel recovered, you do that. Calmness can be relative. If you are beginning to stress about if you're recovering enough, then you're automatically moving towards non-recovery. In such a case, take a recovery breath in response to that voice in you that's demanding you to know more. Gotta recover from that one too. You may think of anything outside of your life that's asking for your attention. Recover from those. If they need your attention, then you'll go to them. If they don't need your attention, then you won't. All right, the long out. I just breathe in. That was nice. Felt some collapsing on the right hand side of my abdomen. It kind of just down that way. I've had a lot of energy and tension building up through there throughout today. I noticed it earlier, but I didn't know how to really consciously get rid of it. So, guess what it did just now? It got rid of itself. Wow! I know, pretty brain dead way to think of it all, but it's like the more I think of it, worse it gets. So, I'll just recover. My arms seem to be swinging during my recovery breaths. This is not a requirement. This is just me. Feels fun. Fun can help me recover. Why not? Am I really putting a lot of energy towards it? No. It's kind of doing it on its own until I bring attention towards it, to which I'm putting a little bit of effort in, but it's like I'm annoyed by all this conversation in the first place, so I'm just going to recover from that shit. If you're wondering what genius came up with all of this, me. I did it. They recommend a whole bunch of different types of breathing online. Like the 5 seconds in, hold for 5 seconds, 5 seconds out, then keep it out. It's like, it felt tiresome to really be a participant in those, especially because my weak ass self was like, I don't know, it felt like a chore to keep up with it. The counting, the breathing, I don't know. So I just kind of made up my own, where it was so much more freeform and maybe a little bit gamified, and I have more fun with it. So it's all about me, baby. Um, I don't give a shit about abdomen breathing or chest breathing or whatever, as long as I feel better, because that's what it's about. I like to play with it a little bit. Sometimes I can feel like if I do curls, I go that's kind of recovering. But in the end, it's like, meh. No two recovery breaths are ever going to be the same. No two stressors are ever going to be the same. So, now time for the holdout. Soon ish. You may think, Nathan, wow, you're taking forever to recover. Yeah. Sometimes it's not about just the breaths, though. I got a lot going on in life. So it's like, where else should those things attack me if not during the time into which I've devoted to recovering from things, right? All right. In, out, hold. That wasn't very long. I've done better before, but whatever. It's not my job to worry about that. Um, that's round one. I suggest doing as many rounds as you really feel like. I think that the best way to do it is n+1, where n is when you get bored. So basically, if I got bored on like the middle of round 3, then I would complete round 3 and do a round 4 completely. So whenever you get bored, just do an extra round. After that extra round, you might be compelled to go further. Then go further. Simple as that. But I think that going +1 from your boredom is pretty nice, cause it's not about pushing yourself. It's about the fact that once you reach boredom, there's a type of clarity that usually comes pretty soon after boredom if you just keep with the thing that you're doing. And it angers me that that's the truth of this universe and or just myself and or everyone at large. Because sometimes it pisses me off that I gotta keep doing the thing that I'm doing. Because I'm bored and I want to get to the next thing. So quit if you want, but I was once told that boredom leads to creativity via the book that we just read earlier. So, trust me or don't trust me. I recommend trusting me. I'm super smart and super cool. So, am I bored right now? Well, I don't really have too many options right now of what to do. I'm waiting for my league queue to pop. Which is kind of ridiculous at this point. Like, kind of really ridiculous. How far in are we? 42 minions. I could probably relog, but I think it's always kind of funny when it doesn't load in. And also, it'll probably, as soon as I do load in, like the client will crash and it'll be kind of funny as well. So it's like a lose-lose scenario that I'm a part of. And yeah, I mean I can make changes. Um Yet I don't cuz it's funny. Anyways, I'm going to just start it over. You recover. What am I doing with my arms right now? Well, I've seen a couple things about rotating. I'm rotating along the elbow. It's nice to rotate along each of the joints. So, do it or don't do it. Whatever. But, I don't know. I think that lymphatic exercises are pretty helpful. And just keeping yourself mobile rather than anchoring yourself on this idea of I need to be strong or I need to be fit or I need to be fast. I think that keeping yourself mobile to a way that feels natural, and when you encounter a non-natural feeling, you just kind of make note of it and you say, I want that to change because I didn't feel so comfortable. And solving that is like a series of 10 billion steps that I don't have the wisdom for, so you'll have to figure that one out on your own. I could institute a rule where I drink a whole bunch of water at the end of each round, but rules are boring, so I won't. Keep yourself hydrated when you want to hydrate, and if it means making a rule for the fun of it, then do it, I guess. Anyways, round one. Let me. I'm no longer in a wide stance, whatever that means. In. Move your arms. That felt good. Maybe my legs need to move, but that's not my. Listen to me breathe. Lean into it. Like, if your body just needs a noise, make noise. A lot of people are scared to make noise. And you're like, no, they are. Or, yeah, I totally am. And it's like, I think that you need to explore really what that even means to its fullest capacity. Because I think a lot of people are more scared to make noise than they think they are. Some part of me wants to fix my posture. But at the same time, the idea that I have the wisdom to even fix my posture is so ego based. You might be like, no, Nathan, I just need to move my shoulders back and my pelvic floor forward. I was like, no, you've been doing that so much. Your body knows something on its own. Somewhere. Whoa. Guess what? It's 7 p.m. My red lights came on. Wild. Obviously, you could do this a lot faster, but I'm doing it until I feel recovered. And it seems that my standards are different than they once were. Recovery used to take me a lot less time. I feel rushed to start the next one. I feel like I need to or I ought to. And I could either give into that methodology or just keep breathing the recovery breath. I've chosen both before. Just keep recovery breathing is the right answer, but not always do I have the strength to actually just pick it. 'Cause sometimes that other voice is so fucking loud. Like, so loud. Like, so loud. I've done recovery breaths in a group of people. We use tokens to denote that we have yet to recover. I also instituted this idea that it's nice to just talk about our stressors in the middle of our recovery breaths until we've each placed down our token denoting that we have fully recovered. Okay. Going in. Hold. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. It tickled a little bit. Now my throat feels really weird. During my last set of recoveries, I kind of finally felt that my legs had equal weight between them and my balance was centered, which I've been working on that for 2 years now. And I've had moments of clarity. This one felt special, and I really struggle to celebrate my victories because there's so many of them, but they're all so minor, and then it's not about discontentment. I just go to the next thing so quickly. So, pardon me while I give 10 yippies real quick. Yippee, 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 yippee. Nice. Good celebration. Recover. Anyone who actually watches my YouTube videos are real champions. You know? Real champions. Sometimes I wonder if, when I turn on that camera, if I put on a persona, and then I could feel my consciousness recede into a place people call the third eye, but it's not out of clarity. It's out of like this very muddy nature, and it feels like a wobbly bicycle. Sure. And I wouldn't say it's anything like third eye or a wisdom. But maybe that's just because I need to spend more time there. And I don't think anything I do here is fake, because it's like, this is how I present myself near most always, in my head, or in my free time, or in my personal recordings. And nobody's even watching me right now. Plus, I don't get any viewers, so it's like, realistically, how much could I really be faking? It's like damn near zero. Okay, well then why is this thought persisting? What a bullshit set of questions that waste my time in the first place. To even try and think that I have the wisdom to solve that is just such a waste of my time. Because the attempt towards solving it feeds it. So it's like recovery breath, whatever the fuck that means. I just gotta kind of, well, I don't even have to kind of trust because the recovery breath system kind of just already works for me. And I don't even know if that's a trust based thing, if it just comes naturally. So I just think recovery. And it doesn't steer me wrong. Most of my words in the middle of all these words, in the middle of all this, kind of stirs me up and riles me up. But it's like, fuck it. I'm already here to recover, so rile me up, go for it. I'll just recover through it while I wait for my 60-minute Q pop timer. I'm putting a little bit of effort into my hands now. It's so annoying to think about all these things that I think about. Then I start thinking about, is my recovery breath truly recovery? And I can't really defeat that one. But it's not as persistent as my recovery. Get fucked, idiot. Feel a little bit bored, but I just want to move on to the long out. And I feel recovered enough. Whatever. Long out time. Wow, that one was healing as fuck. Whew. I just imagined myself screaming a whole bunch when I was doing it, and it was like earth shattering. That felt awesome, dude. So much tension in the back of my left neck, lower left neck, and shoulders. Just whoo, shit. Recover. I once did this while I limited my recovery breaths to one between, but here I am today saying, fuck it, arbitrary number. I guess not even arbitrary number. It's just no number. I do feel kind of bored right now. I have my urge to pick up my phone in the middle of round 2 right now, huh? So the aim, the preference is to finish out round 3 then. Which feels like a tall order and a chore. And I have to recover from that. Feel a lot of tension in both sides of my neck, leading to the internal workings of my shoulders through my armpits. Feels like steel wire ropes or rods. Like an as. But also, it just feels like my body. I think it's important to use similes and metaphors to understand things and, convey things. But it's also much, much, much more important to ground ourselves in the fact that this is my body. It's not a like or an as, it just is. And we humans came up with all those inventions because, in my opinion, we're going to state an opinion here, but you're going to be like, wow, Nathan, you're just right. And if you don't agree with me, you're incorrect. So try again. Recovery. And my statement is anything and everything we've ever birthed, including ideas, come from the inspiration towards our own internal workings, including the idea of atoms and the discovery of subatomic particles or anything. It's just like, because I feel it in me, is the answer. Black holes and the discovery and hypotheses and all those blah 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 words. Yeah, I probably have a couple black holes in me that I can't even think about, but you know, some form of dream Nathan probably knows more wisdom than I do. And it's nice to kind of have these words out there because it's like I can both feel wise but also feel human in the fact that it's like wisdom doesn't come from knowing, it comes from not knowing sometimes. But I have all these feelings and thoughts, and it's like I don't need them to have so much weight, but at the same time, there's probably truth everywhere. Recover, recover, recover. Feel like sitting down, so I will. Because I don't give a shit. Dude, are we never going to get into a league game? That's so funny. That's so funny. Sarah here. Scammer. Scammer. General at Hoffy. Streaming riveting league gameplay RN at Hoffy. There you go. We're gonna do the holdout eventually here, right? I don't even know what I am anymore. This week has been a lot. But I say that every week, so it's like it's such a silly concept, self-identity. Yeah, once I hit enlightenment, I'll just know that there is no self-identity and that will be my self-identity and then I'll figure it all out or some shit, right? Ooh, I want to do the holdout right now. I felt something very special. Ready, set. I really tried to push myself, but that's about all I got. My chest feels really warm. I'm having weird memories of my childhood flashback. Not even weird ones, just oddly specific ones. I bought this $7 glass vial filled with water with most likely like some form of aluminum flakes called gold. I don't know if it was ever gold. It might have been gold flakes, but they looked larger because of the magnification of the water, probably. I don't know. Is that like a... It wasn't even a gas station. I don't think they have gas. We called it the Snack Shack. Haven't been there in a long while. Long while. I remember talking with an old buddy of mine, sitting outside of it. They had juniper bushes. I dropped my phone in the dirt, sitting on a rock. I remember the walk getting there with that friend. He was telling me about a video game he played and how it all worked. Him and I aren't really friends anymore, which is like, it's not neither here nor there, but it is like something I don't feel like I have total control over. I don't know. He didn't treat everyone the best all the time, but he changed in a more positive way as time progressed. Nonetheless, we don't talk too much. It's not that our lives are so different. It's just, I don't know what it is. I put in all the effort that I could put in, I feel like. My brain says I can always put in more effort, though. I need to recover from that ideology. It's super tough to always wear that on my chest, because it's like, it feels like I'm always failing at some standard that I don't even understand. Even thinking about recovering from such a thing separates the meat from my thoracic spine. I guess it would be my T2, 3. Yeah. Especially in the left-hand side of it. I have a lot of muscle imbalances between my left and my right. So I bet this is helping magnitudes. I got a lot of things coming to mind, like, memories I could share that might help me move further. But it's like, you shits haven't earned that information. That shit's privileged. Get out of here. I feel like I'm putting on a character, but also it's kind of funny to understand the very concept that whatever character each of us could be putting on is a character only each of us could have birthed. So therefore, if, like, let's say we're playing a storytelling game like D&D, or I'm making up a character, whatever character I make up is a character that only my collection of my thoughts and universe could have birthed, and our two characters aren't the same. So no matter how much of an imposter I ever attempt to convey myself of, I literally can't. And that's attempting. That's not even when I'm sitting here like, am I fake? Let's do a long in. Fuck it. Ready, set. Alright, let's do a hold in. Whatever. Ready, set. No more water. I could get more. I feel like drinking more would help me. I'm gonna get more. All my viewers are schmucks. They have no clue that I make bajillions of dollars off the videos they watch. Me and my 5 viewers. Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't eat the healthiest food today, but also at the same time, it's like my body doesn't feel angry at me entirely for it. Which makes me be like, what the heck? There's no way I really needed how much ice cream I ate today, right? There's no way. That's probably not healthy. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's not giving me the same indicators that it usually does when it's really mad at me. So who knows? I'm probably gonna burst like a bubble with how much water's in me. My arms feel just so stressed and disconnected from the rest of my body. My right arm feels severed at an angle that is like The arm slightly above my head. The other arm just feels severed. Below. Maybe I'd benefit from hanging on my left arm while grabbing something heavy with my right. Who knows? Or maybe I do the opposite for them. No, that's wrong. That feels wrong. Maybe it's right though. Who knows? Neither will happen right now. I'm recovering. Did we already do the long out? I think I've forgotten. No, we haven't done it yet. I think I'm ready for one though. Maybe. Fuck it. I don't know. Ready, set. That was incredibly healing. I've gone on 2 dates with this person I met last week. Things are going well. I could verbalize why I like her, but also at the same time, the verbals would not hit the mark. And the nonverbal is, I couldn't really describe it, so. But I also distrust it all the way. Not that it's distrustworthy, but I'm a piece of work. I gotta put a lot of work in, dude. I've already put a lot of work in, but I gotta put even more. Which is probably like an unhealthy mindset, but I'm not paid enough to think on that right now. My job is to just take recovery breaths and let the thinking think itself. feel like laying down on my floor, but you guys wouldn't be able to see me if I did. So I'll turn my camera downward and do it. Oh man. What up? Let's see if that works. Can we see my forehead? Nice. Alright, good enough. My legs feel like they're joining in on the breathing practice now. Previously, it was just my shoulders that felt like they were getting reformatted. But now my legs feel like they've shown up to the party to tell me something. Does that mean that I'm not done after this breath? I'm done with the league cube pops, right? Hold on, before we begin, let's take a look at that thing. Maybe I should play League down here. That'd be fun, right? Good old 84. Riveting gameplay, riveting gameplay, riveting gameplay, riveting gameplay, riveting gameplay, riveting gameplay, riveting gameplay. Riveting. I don't even know how to spell riveting. Riveting, 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 riveting. Riveting. Trick all those losers. Got 'em. Alright, we've got a holdout to do, but I'm not recovered yet, so get fucked, idiot. I want to take off my glasses. I can't take off the headphones because that's where my mic is. And also, I don't mind them. I can hear my heartbeat more clearly. Not right now, though, apparently, but I heard it earlier real loud. It was pretty fun. That's my recovery breath. Good thing my roommate's at work. That was actually really recovering. I highly recommend. But maybe you've already done like 3 or 4 of those, and I'd be none the wiser, huh? Yeah, I wonder how many people actually make it to this marker. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. Probably nobody makes it to this marker. And if they do, they're probably not annoyed by me, because it's like, you've stuck it in this long. You're not allowed to be annoyed at this point. Ah! Oh, that was healing. I want to do another one of those, but louder. I'm going to put a pillow over my head. Hold on. We're going to do some screams. Earlier I spoke on what if I was screaming on an exhale, just imaginarily. Guess who's going to do it? Real-alarily. This guy. I like my vocab right now. I'm trying to activate as few brain cells as possible. Just because my brain is so tired of all the bullshit I've been putting in front of it that it's like... Okay, I got a pillow so I can scream my head off if I want to. Or rest my head. But I'm gonna scream first Should I mute? Probably. What up, baby? Uh, uh, uh. Oh my god. Whoosh. I wonder in an alternate reality, or maybe this reality, if I had a couple kids and then I died, like, what they'd be told about me. And it's like, I think I've documented my life um, to a high enough degree where they'd get to watch bits and pieces of me and they might be able to take a gander or a guess or a stab at who I was. But I like this video. I like this video. It makes me feel makes me feel pretty good. No, I'm sad, but I feel recovered enough. So I'm gonna breathe in and breathe out and then hold it out or something, right? Ready, set, go. That's probably the end of this video. I came here trying to play League tonight, but it'd be so much fun to just play League down here, honestly. Maybe I should get rid of my desk. Or like lower my monitor to right there and then put the keyboard here. That seems silly. Imagine if I did it though. I've got a tiny desk over there. Maybe I should try it. Hold on. What height would I need my monitor at? This height? There's no way. Then what would I do? Like put my keyboard on my lap? Mouse too? Maybe I could just put them at my sides, right here. I kind of want to wait till it actually pops, though. I think it's always funny to do that. What an angle. Hop on my phone, not do too much. Don't care about all that girlfriend, guff, 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 guff. All right, that concludes the recovery breath. I hope everybody had a whole bunch of fun with today. I hope you recovered from something hard or tough. Is it frozen? Hold on. Is it frozen? What's going on? Oh, it is a little bit frozen. I wonder how that works. Why is it frozen on this? Yeah. Huh, that's so odd. It's not frozen on the official streamed recording, but it's frozen on my recording app. Whatever. Whatever. This is the version of Nene that we brought today. And boy, was it a pleasure to be here. Even though here is pretty undefinable. Oh, we're gonna get into pentuplet numbers. Quintuplet. It's quintuplet. Nice. Let's get our snipping tool out. Can I just instantly share it? My phone. Discord. Yeah, that's a good stream right there, baby. Let's go share this with the rest of my Discord. Paste. Oh man, that is funny. I 100% understand that I can totally relog. But what am I, a pansy? We waited this long. We've sunk too many costs to give up now. Let's see if anybody's online. I haven't talked to Blue in forever. Wowza gameplay. That's the title of this stream. Alright, I'm gonna end the recording. Peace.